Yep, you there?
And joining me, is it from Grass Valley in California? Is that where you are right now?
Placerville, actually.
Okay.
I live
Okay.
in Placerville from Grass Valley, which is only 45 minutes away. It's really similar elevation and kind of in the foothills in Northern California.
Either way, it's good to see you, mate. It's a strange old time, but it really is good to catch up with you. The last time I saw you, we were having a cold beer in Sydney, and we certainly weren't imagining that the world would be like this right now.
No, absolutely not. It's definitely different times over here, and it's neat that we can have these types of communication. I couldn't imagine not being able to talk to anybody, but we haven't had a lot of human interaction, so it's nice to be able to see some familiar and friendly faces.
How good is that hat, mate? I thought I'd roll the Knoxville hat. I thought I'll roll the Knoxville hat, and I'll think I've got that covered, and then you just smashed me out of the park with that.
Yeah, Aussie, 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 right? I got to try to fit in the best I can with all my Aussie mates. So thought it'd be fun to kind of, honestly, I was wearing the hat anyway, and I felt like it fit the interview really well here.
It's very Dr. Seuss, mate. It's very Cat in the Hat. Hey, the reason that we're talking is that you're going racing. We are finally letting the cat out of the bag. Literally, you're racing at Knoxville this Friday.
Yeah, we're super excited. Hats off to the world of Outlaws, for making it happen. Obviously there's a lot, more important things going on in the world than a race or not. But we've all been, on the sideline and waiting for the right time and the right place. And obviously Knoxville, they embrace sprint car racing. They understand sprint car racing. They're a small town in rural Iowa. And the governor's given us the green light. So we've taken all the precautionary measures. The Outlaws have set, pretty strict guidelines, and obviously it's the first baby step to getting back to maybe some normalcy or some racing with some fans in the stands. So obviously we're taking it very serious, and we're very excited to get back there.
It's going to be an interesting process for you with your team because you can pit away from other teams, but it's such a natural thing just to walk up and talk in someone's ear and be side by side with someone working on the engine, and it's going to be really, you have to be very aware, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's there's definitely a little bit of a change in society with something like this. I think that obviously it's still going on, and we have to be aware of that and aware of the risks that we're taking with our own bodies. And you're definitely, I think the handshake's out the window for a while. The bro hug's gone. I think it's more of we're going to be happy to see each other, but we're going to stand 6 feet apart. And I think that when I travel, I'm going to be wearing a mask. I'm going to be taking care of everything I can do on my end to be as safe as possible. To make these things, to make it happen. Obviously, we're all going to have to do our part if we want to start living a more normal life and being able to interact with each other. So I think it's going to be tough on a lot of people, but I think that if we're all, mindful of the situation, I think that it can be done in a safe and proper manner for sure.
Yeah, look, absolutely. The great news is for all of us is that whilst we can't be there in the stands, everyone can watch on Dirt Vision. And man, I'm expecting big numbers on Dirt Vision. You would have to think people are jonesing for this to happen at any level. And the great part is for Australians, you can sit back with a breakfast smoothie or a nice cup of coffee. And you and I were talking about it with the time differences. We're guessing it'll be around this time right now in Australia, around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock Friday morning, Aussie time, to watch pretty well you guys start Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely. It's 4 o'clock here in California, 4:15 or whatever, and so that's 6 o'clock in Knoxville. So between 6 and 7, which would be 9 and 10, obviously on the coast there with in Australia. So yeah, I think it'll be good coverage. Obviously, huge numbers. We're hoping for. I think we need all the support we can get. The Outlaws are obviously taking a huge risk with no fans. There's no revenue sources besides the people that are going to tune in and watch. So I think it's a big risk. That's why it's just a one-day show. I think we're testing the waters to see what we can get done here, and hopefully a lot of Australians tune in. Hopefully a lot of Americans tune in. It's 48 unbelievable cars going to be racing. There's going to be a lot of different talent there. because there's absolutely nothing else going on. Everybody wants to be there. So I think it's going to be an unreal show. I'm excited. I know I haven't felt like this in a long time to get in a sprint car, so I'm very excited.
Really cool that Kyle and Casey will both be there. Unfortunately for J-Mac, he can't come over for this, obviously, with the travel restrictions. But, wow, anytime Casey gets back in a car, mate, that's so good for the sport.
Yeah, I feel bad for James. That's his car, and they've worked hard to get to a point that where James is at and the team's at, and they've done a really good job. But obviously Casey is just filling in, and he's excited to get behind the wheel and do a little racing. I think he's been kind of healing up these last couple of years and staying in shape, and I think this is a good thing for him to kind of go at it pretty casually, not a lot of pressure or anything like that. And then obviously anytime Kyle Larson's at a sprint car race, it's great for sprint car racing, and you have a lot of other great talents. Obviously I usually don't miss Donnie Schatz, but I actually miss seeing Donnie Schatz right now.
Really?
And all the different outlaw guys, even the officials. So it'll be neat to just get back to some normalcy and seeing everybody and obviously some competitiveness. We're ready to show what we have in the Napa Auto Parts car. It's been sitting in the garage for a little too long, or the shed, I should say.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, Brad. This whole thing has brought back the importance of really simple things. This whole period of isolation, and even something as you leaning forward and flipping the switch on the dash of your sprint car, something that you probably took for granted because you've done it thousands of times. But the first time that you lean in tomorrow night and tag that switch, that's got to be special, mate.
Yeah, well, I'm just excited to get back in the seat and, like you said, put the helmet back on and hear feel the car underneath me, make those, feel the pressure of the qualifying laps. Just all that like you said, you take it for granted. You forget, the little things, and sometimes we look at it as a job and we forget how much we do love it. So, I'm gonna be dead honest that these couple months off have made me really, really hungry and really excited to get back behind the wheel.
Mate, in July you promised us all that there was going to be some kind of swimming pool. Now you would think that this has been a pretty good time to build a swimming pool in the last few weeks. And to your right, what's going on out there, mate?
Yeah, I'm sitting in my back patio and enjoying it. I have my outdoor kitchen all done, and obviously want to do the pool, but we're trying to be obviously aware of the situation with the no racing, and when we're not racing, we don't make money, so we're being careful there. But as soon as the timing's right, we'll turn this dirt mound over here into a nice swimming pool, and we have the plans drawn up, so it's all, the process has begun, but obviously it's going to take a nice chunk of money, and yeah. We have plenty of time on our side. My daughter's only 2.5 years old, so it's more for when she's I want her to enjoy it as much as possible, and we plan on spending many summers out here in the backyard. So we'll hopefully get racing, make some money, build the pool, and hopefully we can salvage a decent season over here, and then obviously hopefully everything gets better over there, and hopefully we can be back in Australia.
We're doing pretty well, Brad. I got to say, I'm very proud of Australia. Our curve is really flat. Like, everybody has been staying at home, and they've been, as much as it's been tough for everybody, everyone's done a really stellar job, and they're starting to relax some of the isolation measures. Where we can be a bit in bigger groups and things like that now. And it has been brutal, but the iRacing thing has kept people connected, and so has things like this. Donnie has even become more prolific with his pieces to camera about being a teriyaki chef, and it's made everybody, I think, maybe just value personal relationships a bit more, Brad.
Yeah, appreciate life a little more. Like you said, we were talking earlier about taking things for granted, and even for me, just being able to watch my daughter and be with my wife. Sitting in the backyard with not a lot doing, cooking lots of meals together, just kind of enjoying the time, sitting back, not having to head to the airport, on a Thursday and, rushing around it. There's been things that haven't been bad. It's one of those things. Obviously there's a lot of, a lot of people suffering, with this COVID situation. So, we don't want to downplay that, but we also, from our perspective, we've done a good job here following the orders in our town and our state. But, America's, there's a lot of stuff going on over here. It's a much different, place just with all the different states and the vast different cities and things. So, I know watching your guys' curve, it seems like you guys have been a little stricter than maybe over here. So we're just hoping for the best, obviously, moving forward here. And my thing to everybody is I feel like that we're all just going to have to, do our parts. We're all going to have to, watch out for ourselves. The life is probably going to have to go on here at some point. And once it does, I think, you're just going to have to, protect yourself the best you can until we get a handle on this virus.
Obviously, it's early days, Brad, with working out what a championship would look like, because, who knows how many more times that you'll race and how often and what a championship might look like in inverted commas. There might even be a chance that you're still the World of Outlaws champion until 2021. Like it's, you might race a schedule, but it might not be a championship per se. Has there been any discussion on how that might look?
Yeah, I mean, amongst, obviously our team and things like that, we're wondering, obviously, the business is designed to race a lot. And, you need a lot of different nights to build up a lot of different revenue to pay that type of point fund and the purses that they pay. And obviously that makes it, it makes the business kind of go around. So obviously it's been discussed. I'd imagine the Outlaws are going to do their absolute best to pay a point fund of some sort, to keep us all together. And we want to support the Outlaws. We have a good thing going. Everybody, they've done a good job the last few years. So we're all going to try to work together to get this thing going. Hopefully we can get, 50 races in. Who knows? I don't even want to throw a number out there because you just don't know what's around the corner. We don't know when a vaccine is going to come out, when someone figures out a way to treat the virus. It's honestly day to day. It's amazing. The doctors, the scientists, the people working to cure this thing, so we just don't know on that side. Obviously we're very hopeful, but we're going to take it one day at a time, one weekend at a time. Obviously we don't want to contribute to the problem. We want to, obviously try to do our day-to-day business and win races. Obviously our team is, just chomping at the bit. We feel like we have everything in place. Winning the championship last year, the same team back again, Napa Auto Parts. So we really couldn't be in a better place as far as ready to go racing. But, it's the same for everybody, and we're all going to get through this together. And hopefully, we'll get those 30, 40 races in, 50 races in. We can have a somewhat of a great season, and then hopefully all this will be behind us, and we can really go again next year.
While we're talking, I just want to remind everyone that's watching, particularly our Australians, to share this video, please. If you can share this out, because we want to get the word out that we want to get as many people across the Dirt Vision coverage to finally see the Outlaws have at it and get a crack at watching some racing again. Cool part is, mate, when you go back to Knoxville these days, you go back to a place where you won one of your biggest races ever.
Yeah, absolutely. Knoxville Nationals, a moment I'll never forget, obviously, 2018. So anytime I go there, I get butterflies, and what a perfect place, really to go back and restart sprint car racing, as far as, what that community, means to sprint car racing and what sprint car racing means to that community. So I think if there was, you couldn't really draw it up better or more symbolic that the fact that we're able to go there and get the first race in, and we all know this is a baby step, but yeah, I always feel, unreal going back to Knoxville.
You can we have a look at that gorgeous little person that's making all the noise? You don't have to hide her.
Savvy, say hi.
Oh my gosh, she's beautiful.
Thanks. Yeah, she's sitting across from me, so I told her I was going to be on an interview and she had to be quiet, but that doesn't really mean a whole lot to a 2-year-old. So
thank God she looks like a mum.
That's just part of it. So, yeah, thank you.
I guess she's growing up super fast. I was talking to Braden McMahon a couple of nights ago. We had Jan and Paul in their driveway in Nashville, and I talked to Braden afterwards. He said it's the longest he's ever spent with his dad. Like, which is something that we all take for granted, Brad. Absolutely. But life on the road, it was he was just saying, wow, I've spent so much time with my dad.
Yeah, absolutely. I that's what I was kind of talking about earlier, the things that you take for granted. In sprint car racing, literally, we're always looking forward to the next thing, and our lives go by so quick, and our years go by so quick because it's Florida, then it's then it's the summer, then it's the Kings Royal, it's the Knoxville Nationals, then it's it's just one big event to another, and then it's Australia during the winter, and then back to here, back to Florida, or Chili Bowl, then Florida, then it's just there's so many things going on. It's been a breath of fresh air to really just be able to like sit on the couch and just watch her grow up, watch her play, cook more meals together, just kind of slower pace of life. Now I do miss what I'm doing, so I think it's put things a lot of things in perspective for me. I'm definitely not ready to retire, I know that, and I definitely want to race for many more years, but I'm not going to look back at this time as a horrible time. I'm going to look at it as an opportunity that I was able to spend extra time with family and do things that I normally wouldn't have been able to do. So it's definitely, you always got to take the good in things, and I think I'm gonna definitely look back and be happy that I was able to enjoy the extra moments, especially watching her grow up. It's been amazing the last 2 months just how much she's changed.
Yeah, and everybody's watching Owen do the same thing. Obviously he's getting, he's starting to look at iRacing, and now, of course, we saw Kyle with him out with the kart already, and so the world just speeds on, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. Yeah, Owen's growing up quick, and their little one Audrey's about to turn 2. So, yeah, it's been interesting. Like I said, we are ready to get racing though. My wife's probably ready for me to hit the road a few times because she's get a little tired of me. I'm such a busybody that because I'm so used to doing something that literally every day I have to do something, and there's only so many things in the yard that you can do, and especially when you're not making money, you don't want to be spending too much. So we're ready to kind of get back on with a little bit of normalcy, but obviously enjoying some of the downtime too.
I just saw Isaac Roos is watching on Facebook Live. The Roos family were a really important part of your racing in Australia. That's pretty well what started all this for you, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Love Isaac, and obviously Josh and Mama Roos, and Peter passed away, which was super sad a couple years ago. So we're always thinking of them. But Isaac just had his second baby. Yeah, so a lot's changed for him in the last couple of years, and but we do miss him out in Broken Hill. Hopefully next year we'll get to catch back up with the Rooses a little more. We've been a little bit out of touch with some of them. I do keep in touch with Isaac quite a bit. So he was on iRacing and trying to show me some of the ropes just last week. So maybe a couple weeks ago. So it's pretty cool that we have all these channels to be able to communicate with so many people across the country and the world.
It's interesting because you and I were talking before we started this about that really cool Twitter rivalry between Kevin Swindell and Danny Dietrich. And Danny's going to be, the 48 car is going to be here on Friday night, which it's always exciting watching Danny because he just comes out and says what he's going to do, whether it happens or not. And we were talking about, wouldn't it have been cool if Danny and Kevin had got to race against each other in this environment because they had that great, bang, bang head stuff in Twitter. But I guess the iRacing has showed that Kevin Swindell's racing brilliance. We're still at least getting to see that, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been very neat for Kevin. I know that it's been a rough few years, probably coming, into his own with everything that's gone on in his life. And, I've always admired Kevin and thought he was an unbelievable talent. Obviously, it's a shame and it's very sad what happened, but he's definitely made the most of it. He's has one of the fastest sprint cars in the country, and he's a great driver. He knows everything about the sport. He grew up in this sport, so there's no doubt if he was racing that he'd be up front. So it doesn't surprise me when we get on iRacing that he's battling up front with all the good guys. It's no surprise at all, for sure. And it's been neat for him, and I'm excited I was able to kind of race with him again, even though I wasn't as competitive as I'd like. I need to put a little more time into the iRacing, but it's pretty cool what he's able to accomplish, overcoming some of the things that he has to overcome.
You started 2020 pretty well, Brad. You and James actually got that 1-2 in Florida, which was super cool for the team, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. KKR came out swinging. It's been neat having James as a teammate. I've really grown to like him a lot, and get along with him great. Obviously, he's fit into KKR well, and we definitely lean on each other quite a bit, and it's been neat to see him kind of pick up these tracks that he hasn't got a lot of laps on. A lot of American tracks are a good bit different than Australian tracks, so. It's been cool. It's kind of a shame. We had a lot of great plans this year for him to be over here, and he hasn't been able to be over here. But Florida went great. Obviously, with the 1-2, but every night we were in the hunt, especially with the 49 car, and the 9 car wasn't far behind. I think they ended up second in the overall points for the week. So it says a lot about our teams and where we're at. There's a lot of camaraderie, a lot of good things going on inside of KKR for sure.
You got the Knoxville Nationals win, but he's always going to smack you when it comes to the beard, mate. As far as the beard game, he's going to kick your ass there.
I don't even try. James is he's got a beard for the ages. I don't even know if I could grow a goatee, let alone a mustache or anything. So, I'm redheaded Australian. I don't know what he is or anything. He seems like he's something else.
All right, so tomorrow night, Knoxville Raceway. Cannot wait. Finally, the Outlaws are gonna run that one-off, first night event at the home of the world headquarters of Sprintcar Racing. Sorry, Tony Stewart, but the Knoxville Raceway is the sprint car capital of the world, and finally they're going to get after it. 48 cars, as you said. All the Outlaws, the Knoxville regular guys. So you got Brown and McCarles and all those guys are going to look to kick your butt. And we were excited to see Brooke Tatnall's got a ride as well, Brad, from our point of view, that Brooks finally got himself into a new ride as well. So a lot of great cars. Yeah,
Linton Jeffrey will be there. So they got you Aussies have another guy to cheer on. And obviously we'll do it. It'll be fun. I just hope and everybody, if they're sitting at home, if they can, please watch. It's obviously a huge risk for the promoters to take with absolutely not one fan in the stand. So we need all the people tuning in, and hopefully we can provide, that sense of normalcy for everybody. They get to see some competitive sprint car racing that we're all itching to see and be a part. So we'll be forever grateful if you guys can tune in for a while. And, obviously, we wish the fans could be in the stands, and we wouldn't be begging you guys to watch. But obviously, we love all the support that we can get across the country, across the world, and we love our Aussies for sure. So please tune in tomorrow, and hopefully we can put on that good show, and hopefully the Napa 49's back where it belongs.
Really good to catch up with you, mate. Congratulations on becoming the defending World of Outlaws champion. We should, actually say that up front. Don't burn the ribs, because I know they're in the smoker right now. And good luck and be safe, mate, traveling over there and also during that process. And we're very proud of you as Aussies as well. We kind of adopt you as our little favorite ninja as well. So go and have some fun and kick some butt. And enjoy when you first get to flip that switch, mate. Enjoy that moment,
Yeah, Aussie. So
oi.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. So thank you, Wade, for the interview, and we'll hope to see all our Aussie friends soon.
Thanks, Brad. See you, buddy.
Thanks, bud.